We are here at the Aviatic in the Macaulay neighborhood of Edmonton, Alberta. We are here to get some sneak peeks and snippets of live performances from AV's new album just released. It's called Everybody Matters. Without further ado, we're going to introduce AV herself. But who's this guy? I'm Frank Lee. Not wearing a tie, for AV News, CHIT News, an unofficial sister company of Humber Radio 96.9 in Toronto, Ontario. So for all the fans all over Canada and all over the world, here's your first glimpse of a song from Everybody Matters.
Woo! Thanks, Frankly. That was frankly a great introduction.
I've been practicing.
Yeah, I can tell. Well, this is a song called Anything I Know, and it came out in, I think in November. And, nope, the song came out in October, and the video came out in November. And you can find it on the internet and the YouTube. And it's the first track on the record. It goes like this. We ain't got no money, but tonight we're going downtown. We'll sit by the lights and our theater seats are the ground. Wishing that we were one of the ones who could afford that big kind of fun. But you got a way of looking at me that's better than anything. You got a way of looking at me that's better than anything I know. We ain't got no time working so hard every day. There ain't no vacation when you're working for so little pay. But up on this hill, above all the lights, it could be Vegas, babe, the night up all nights. 'Cause you got a way of looking at me that's better than anything. You got a way of looking at me that's better than anything I know. There are so many times I am so tired, but you pick me up and throw me over your shoulder. Then it's all over, 'cause you got a way of looking at me that's better than anything. You got a way of looking at me that's better than anything I know. Yes, anything I know. Anything I know.
All right. Well, I think these are for me here.
Uh-huh. Frankly, they are.
Yeah, that's how that works. All right. Well, I've prepared some special interview questions for you.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, you bet.
I was unaware of that.
Well,
I guess I better think about some. That's.
how long do we got for a segment here? I think about an hour, right? This should take. I got about 4 hours of questions. Let's just start with a few anyway.
Yeah.
For anybody who hasn't seen the video for that, the song "Anything I Know," it's really unique. It's all again filmed in the neighborhood of Macaulay here in Edmonton, with local neighbors and people. And of course, I think the takeaway from that video is home is where the cart is.
That could not have been said better. Frankly, that's as succinct as I've ever heard it said.
And I strive to be succinct. So the first question for you here is, first of all, I mean, everything's kind of up in the air, as we know, and you've dealt with your frustrations, but what do you have in the works for 2022 coming up?
Frankly, I have no idea. I really don't. I had a tour scheduled in 2020, the springtime. It's been rescheduled to the spring of 2022. And I still don't know if it's going to be happening, though that spring is the next season from right now, which
That's what
is
we're hoping.
winter. Yeah. But I might also maybe be in Toronto, which I believe is in the area of the Humber radio station.
Should be. Close enough,
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the river is not in the river, but it's... Anyways. Yeah, I was supposed to be there at the end of January for the Toronto Blues Summit, but that got rescheduled to the end of June, and hopefully it will stay there, and we'll be there in June.
Well, I know that the Toronto Summit and the fans in Toronto would be happy to have you. So keep an ear to the ground, and hopefully AV will be coming out to Toronto at the end of June, maybe with some special guests. Second question here, the new album, Everybody Matters. Now, you've produced numerous albums now, but what sets this album apart from them for you?
Well, one of the things is that I actually sat in the producer's chair and produced the whole album myself, co-produced with esteemed Canadian producer Chris Burkett. Another thing is that it was inspired by my neighborhood of Macaulay, in which we are sitting currently. This is the AV Attic, as you mentioned.
Also located on Treaty 6 land.
Exactly. Lee. And this whole neighborhood I've been living here for almost 14 years, and it is a pretty interesting and notorious neighborhood in some ways. The opioid crisis has definitely been actually a bigger deal here than COVID, and taken way more lives than COVID.
I believe it.
And so thinking about all the things that the neighborhood has made me think about, addiction and trauma and colonialism, in my perspective on it as the person that I am, is the whole muse of the record.
So would you say this is kind of a concept album, and the whole album kind of revolves around your thoughts, your feelings on being in this neighborhood? You said 14 years, so like half of your life. And I think that's great. You know, people need to get the word out there.
Exactly.
Well, I'm sure people that are in the neighborhood and people that hear the album will really get a deeper sense and a message to what you're trying to accomplish. Last question for you here, AV, is why? Why is it important that you bring...
Those 4 hours just flew by.
Yeah. Why is it important that you bring music to this neighborhood in Macaulay and Edmonton? I mean, we've already talked about people being marginalized and Edmonton, city of Edmonton, kind of sweeping the problem, so to speak, under the rug. So a lot of it ends up in this neighborhood. Why do you, as an artist, a musician, bring your music out to the porch?
Well, as we were talking earlier in hour 2 about the pandemic and how it affected my plans for 2020,
right?
Rather than doing what I thought I was going to do, about a month into the pandemic, we finally had some spring weather here in Edmonton, and on a Sunday afternoon, since I was not doing any live conventional concerts, I decided to just put on a concert on my front porch. And there's a lot of people walking by my street. I have a lot of foot traffic on my street, and I invited a bunch of neighbors, and people seemed to really like it. So within a few months, it had grown to several people playing alongside me, physically distanced properly, of course.
Of course.
A trusty sound tech, Mike Tully, doing professional sound for all the different bands, and sometimes almost like a mini festival, including some bands called, there's one band that you might have heard of called Angelitos.
I have heard of them, yeah.
There's the lead singer, I don't know if you know him, but the band, you probably heard it.
He's a strange duck.
He's a strange
I've met him
duck.
once or twice, yeah.
He has a duck.
He owns a duck.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And but that we're getting off track.
Separate story, but we'll talk about Wilbur the duck after. So if I'm understanding you correctly here, the reason partly because you're going stir crazy, playing up in the Aviatic by yourself.
I know we're getting started. Is partly a relative?
Partly, a little bit.
Okay.
Just slightly. And so you took it outside to the streets, and you know, it was obviously well received. How many did you do like in a row? I heard.
In 2020, we did 26 concerts from April to October.
That's half a year.
You are frankly smart.
Thanks.
And accurate. Then in 2021, we did as many as we could with the pandemic allowances in the weather. There was a smoke day that we couldn't do it, and there was some other things in there, like other apocalyptic events. But I think in total, we think that we did almost 60, somewhere between 55 and 60.
Right. We, as in you and the voices in your head?
Yes, and other people's heads.
So I'm guessing that's why you had to get out of the attic, right? Is you hear all the voices.
One of the reasons.
Yeah, you get all the harmonies. But it is kind of nicer to have other people sing those harmonies.
Yes, it's hard to sing harmonies with yourself.
Right. And I've heard you've actually formed a group with friends so that you can get those voices out of your head.
Yes, AV and the Inner City. And that is the group with which I will be singing in Toronto in June, pandemic willing.
Cross all your fingers and toes and knock on some wood. All right, let's keep moving here, Miss AV. We actually have some snippets of those porch concerts that we are going to fly to. We're going to let people. Well, they can't all be on your sidewalk in front, but this is a few clips anyway of what we accomplished here in the neighborhood of Macaulay, thanks to AV and all of her friends and everybody who gave their time to bring some music, some happiness, positivity to the neighborhood in a time where people are suffering with anxiety and depression. And so I think we'd all agree that it was a well-needed aspect to bring music to people.
Always is, but
so
especially now.
Let's get some of those clips.
Especially.
Yeah, everybody matters. Some a little more. 58 here, 10,000 where it's for. Some make the headlines, others just the final door. Yeah, everybody matters. Some a little more. So you want cheap things for a wage that won't work. It's alright.
Feel free to stick around after.
I lost my baby and she's coming back later. I lost my baby but she's coming back later. No keyboard.
Let's try it. 1, 2. I like this melody.
Let's do it.
4.
We're taken to the streets of Edmonton and the Macaulay neighborhood, and we're asking people what they think of the release of the single and the video for AV's song, Mine All Mine.
It was okay.
I really don't know. I think I need to listen to it a few more times. But other than that, not too bad.
It's pretty over the top. I could get used to it, maybe.
You know what I find with this? Every time I listen to it, it just gets better.
A lot. For Channel 96, CHIT News, we're full of it. And I'm
Frankly!
Okay, where's Shelly in makeup? Shelly, this is bullshit! What are we paying you for? All right, fans, are we ready for a second live performance by AV? And I heard that you actually have a special guest coming for this song.
Oh yeah, I wonder if he's ready. He was downstairs in his green room. Hey, Julian, are you?
Oh, hey, guys.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Oh,
sorry, yeah, I was just...
how did you come up the stairs so
super quiet?
sneakily?
Yeah, that's
you
what
are.
That's what I do.
You're talented in a lot of ways.
I was just in the neighborhood, actually, walking around, meeting some of the neighbors,
As you do.
as you do in Macaulay neighborhood.
Yeah.
Had some interesting conversations and learned
Yeah.
a lot about myself and my place in the world. But what's this next song? What are you gonna sing for us?
Well, it's called Mine All Mine. And would you want to join me on a couple harmonies? Because I can't harmonize with myself.
Me, mama, moo. Yeah, sure. Let's try
Cool?
it.
I feel confident already. My mama taught me to share all my toys. All the kids in the hood came to our sandbox and made enough castles for all the girls and the boys. But look where it's got me. Now I've been to that hard knock school. Nobody told me it's only when you're young that that's the rule. You gotta say mine, all mine. Gotta say mine, mine and not yours. Yes, you gotta say mine, mine and not yours.
Say mine.
Mine and not yours.
Oh, mine.
Mine and not yours. My papa bought me the little he could. He came to this land and they told his folks it belongs to nobody, at least nobody good. And look where it's brought me. Turns out all the castles are built on the sand, and I'm living in this haunted house with way too much blood on his hands. Still saying mine, all mine. Still saying mine, mine and not yours. Still saying mine, all mine. That's why this castle has locks on its doors. Oh yes, that's why this castle is mine, mine and not yours.
Say mine.
Mine and not yours.
Oh, mine.
Mine and not yours. Mine, all mine. Put walls around what you got. Leave the weak and the meek behind. 'Cause ain't that what the good book says?
Is it?
Still saying mine, all mine. Still saying mine, and I'm yours. Still saying mine, all mine. That's why this castle has locks on its doors. Oh yes, that's why this castle is mine, mine and not yours.
Say mine.
Mine and not yours.
Oh, mine.
Mine and not yours. Mine and not yours.
Thanks, Anne. That was fun.
You're welcome.
I gotta get going here, so I'll see you in a bit, okay?
Oh, see you, Jules. Careful down the steps there.
Those are stairs.
They are stairs. Where did... Frank, it's you next. Frankly, you're frankly next.
Oh, hey. Oh, sorry. I was just off in the other room there.
Yeah. Well, good thing we're back.
We are back. We are back. In fact, we are back with AV Channel 96 CHIT News, where we're bringing you all of the real information here in the neighborhood of Macaulay, and an unofficial sister company of Humbert Radio in Toronto, Ontario, 96.9. Now, let's get into the actual album. Let me get my trusty...
Oh.
There we go. So, this album is beautiful. first of all. Just want to let you know, start to finish. I listen to it every night as I fall asleep. But let's talk about the front, the album cover here, okay? So this is actually a local photographer named Peter DeVos. Now, I heard that this is the first photo in a series of a series that he's got entitled Evidence of Habitation. Now, as the story goes, AV met with Peter, and the very first picture that you saw of this series, whoop, 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 was this picture. And that was it. You decided. You knew as soon as you saw it. What else can you tell me about this album? I mean, it must have been very exciting to finally get it pressed, packaged, and delivered to your door.
It sure was. However, can you hear me?
Yeah, we're...
Okay. The only thing is that when it was first delivered, all the 1,000 copies that I bought, about half the order was stolen off my porch.
Oh, man.
When I was away at one of the very few shows that weren't on my porch that whole year of 2020. So I went around the neighborhood offering cash reward, no questions asked, but nobody would talk about who had them, even though lots of people say they saw them. And I did get word that they were being sold down the street by not me.
Right.
Anyways, but in the meantime, when I was showing everybody the album to say, like, it looks like this, have you seen them anywhere? I ran into a girl who told me that actually is where she lived, and that was her chair in her, well, I think it looks like a throne.
Her blanket, her chair, yeah.
Yeah, and she was sitting in the neighborhood, right by the injection center over there, and told me that was her place. So I
kind of serendipitous that way. You got to actually meet the owner of the habitation, the harsh ways in Edmonton, under bridges and in little stairwells and stuff. But interesting to find that came around full circle. And I'm interested to know, did you ever get those CDs back?
Frankly, we'll have to wait till later on in the story, the broadcast, to find out.
You heard it here, bringing you not only great music and suspense. AV, we're here in the attic, the AV attic, in the Macaulay neighborhood of Edmonton, Alberta. Now, the other thing that I'd like to say here is, in the neighborhood, you mentioned, how you've been inspired by what's going on in the neighborhood and whatnot. So I think that the song, the title track, Everybody Matters, brings a lot of that to light, as well as the other songs that we've heard on the album. But especially Everybody Matters, I think, has that kind of undertone. I think it was a great choice for the title, if you don't mind me saying. And
I don't mind.
We've actually got a live video that was produced during pandemic with your touring band. So the musicians that were supposed to accompany you on tour, one was in Berlin, one was in Calgary. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you all somehow, through the magical of the magicalness, not a word, of digital reenactments, also not a thing, but we are going to show you now the final product of 3 people in different cities making a video for Everybody Matters. Here's the title track off the new album. Hit it, Mike.
2, 2, 3. Hey y'all, AV here. I'm gonna sing a song for you called Everybody Matters, featuring Callie Kinjo on bass and Dave Anania on the drums. They say everybody matters, no matter who you are. Some die of starvation, some get life support. Yeah, everybody matters, just some a little more. 58 die here, 10,000's where it's for. Some make the headlines, others just the final door. Yeah, everybody matters, just some a little more. So you want cheap things for a wage that won't work here. Don't like slavery, let's not call it over there. Yeah, everybody matters, just some a little more, just to be clear. Miss you guys.
We are back for our last live segment here in the AV Attic in the neighborhood of Macaulay, Edmonton, Alberta. We are a unofficial sister company of Humber Radio in Toronto, 96.9. We're here, the AV News Channel, 96 CHIT News. We're full of it. Now, Anne, tell me a little story about this last song that we're going to perform. It's called If You Were Here.
Yes.
Tell me the story about it.
Ah, right. Well, I wrote this song with a friend of mine when we were touring in the U.S. in 2009. We were in Memphis, and we were in a hotel that overlooked an arm of the Mississippi River where a songwriter that we both really admire drowned by the name of Jeff Buckley. So we wrote a song kind of based on missing him and missing, but then it kind of got bigger and it was about missing people and being separated and blah, blah, blah. And of course we never could have foreshadowed that there'd be a pandemic where people missed each other even more because they couldn't be together for all those reasons, but sometimes things happen like that. So Matt and I recorded a version of that on a 2012 album that I produced.
All right.
And then I did another version of it for this album, Everybody Matters, with my friend and great singer and bassist, Jory Kinjo. But neither of those guys can make it today, so I don't know what to do.
Well, hey, Julian, Jules, you want to come down? You want to come up and sing another song?
Oh, hey, that's a good idea.
Okay, in the meantime, I'm going to go find Shelly because my face is just melting.
Oh, yeah, Shelly. Man, yeah, I know. She's just always...
Oh, hey, Anne.
Oh.
Hey.
What? I just turned around for 1 second.
Yeah, I know.
You
In those stairs.
are sneaky,
Really
Emma.
quick. Really quick.
Oh.
Well, hey, I'm
Person.
honored to be here singing a song with you.
Well, I'm glad you could make it because my other guys bailed. Pandemic.
Did you already tell the story of the song? Did I miss that?
I did.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's all right.
Yeah,
you tell me about
it was an hour too.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Should we? Do you know this song?
I've heard. I mean, I listened to the album. I know. Frankly, and I
'cause
sometimes
everybody
we
should.
get together and we have listening parties.
Oh, that's frankly awesome.
Yeah. Sometimes he gets to be AV, and sometimes I get to be AV.
Oh.
Sometimes you get to be AV.
That makes sense.
You want to be AV?
Yeah. Okay.
I'll be Julian.
That's a great idea.
Okay.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2.
I got to Memphis,
And now I'm in Paris,
blue suede Mississippi,
an angel in stone,
here on the balcony.
and wine on the terrace.
I won't bring you here to Tennessee.
Won't fly you to Paris. I wish you were here. Chandelier and coattails,
Sisters at the jewel joint,
cigarettes and candlelight.
velvet and sweat. These are a few of my favorite things.
Lure me with music, but only you make me sing.
Thanks for having me, Anne. That was a lot of fun.
That was very fun.
I got to
Julian.
run. I'm glad the time worked
Oh
out.
man, you are a busy guy.
Yeah, it's keeps me
Damn.
busy. But
Cannot keep track of your schedule and stairs and everything. Oh, what's going on? I'm frankly confused. I'm frankly.
Yeah, I'm back.
Oh,
from-
jeez.
I was just in the washroom there.
Wow.
You don't need to know the details.
Nope.
It's fine.
I don't.
Well, here we are. That pretty much ends our little series
Wow,
here
that's
today.
the fastest 4 hours of my life.
That was a really good 4 hours.
Yeah.
though.
We
I
covered a
can't
lot of
believe.
ground.
Yeah, we did. We covered a lot of ground. Speaking of covering ground, you all should cover some ground by getting on the interweb. You can go to AV's website. It's andvriend.com. From there, you can stream the album. But the best thing to do, honestly, this beautiful album, you got to get the album in your hands. If you play your cards right, AV will even sign it for you. So get on the website, sign up for the newsletter, the AV newsletter. That'll give you all the exclusive content and keep people apprised of where you are and where you're going to be. So I know that Toronto's probably hoping that you're going to be there in June.
And I am too.
Yeah, we'll
Yes.
keep an ear to the ground. So for CHIT News 96, an unofficial subsidy of Humber Radio in Toronto, 96.9. Very happy to be able to have this opportunity. AV, what do you want to leave off for the fans?
Well, frankly, I frankly would like to thank a few people for making this happen.
Great. Thank you.
Including you, frankly.
Thank you, frankly.
And as well as Humber and AV Channel News, including our tech who's behind the camera, literally and figuratively right now, Mike Tully, who was also our sound engineer, live sound engineer for all the porch concerts we did in the pandemic so far.
Just a stellar dude.
And yes, and what else can we say? Is there anything
I guess thank you to the fans. Everybody
Yeah.
has to be
Thanks
patient.
for
Everybody's
listening.
trying to just keep pushing through. So this is just the beginning of our series that we're going to keep bringing to you, keeping you apprised of what's going on in the world of AV music and in the Macaulay neighborhood here in Edmonton, Alberta.
We have a lot of stories to tell you, let me tell you. Oh, including, how did the story end?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I've been waiting. I would not have slept tonight. Did you get the CDs back in the end?
Short answer, yes. Long answer, how? Stay tuned for the next CHIT News, because we're
Full of it. Remember, you got a little thing that you like to remind people
yes,
to
this is
keep
my
them
motto,
rolling.
hashtag rock what you got.
Rock what you
Because you can't rock what you don't got.
That's confusing. Just
I know, that's why
rock
it's just
what
rock
you
what you
got.
All right, over and out. Here's a little snippet about the thing. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you from 36 Land, sometimes known as Macaulay, Edmonton. Everybody matters.
Oh, everybody matters in the eyes of the Lord. Oh, everybody matters to some a little, some a little, some a little. Everybody matters. Oh, some a little more. Everybody matters. Oh, some a little more. Everybody matters. Oh, in the eyes of the Lord. Everybody matters to some a little more.